Welcome to the Rock Interview Series with host Thomas S. Orwatt Jr.
Welcome to episode number 79 of the Rock Interview Series. I'm Thomas Orwatt Jr. It's July 10th, 2023, and for this feature, I have drum legend Vinny Appice, formerly of Black Sabbath and Dio, along with award-winning vocalist Jim Crean of Hair Nation as my guest. During this interview, Vinny and Jim discuss their upcoming Sabbath Nights tour in which they will be performing songs of Black Sabbath and Dio. So let's get started. Here they are, Vinny Appice and Jim Crean. Before we get started, please subscribe to the Rock Interview Series. Hey everyone, welcome to the Rock Interview Series, and we have a great special today. We have vocalist Jim Crean and drummer Vinny Appice, and they are promoting a new project called Sabbath Nights. Hey guys, how you doing? Welcome to the Rock Interview Series.
Thank you, Thomas. I'm doing good, Jim.
Things are great.
Yeah, well, I'm pretty excited about this because I guess the first question, you guys have worked together in a few projects together. The Drum Wars, and also Jim's wearing the shirt over there from the most recent project right there.
That I had to buy.
You had to buy it for the Scream Taker.
I want one. I don't have one.
I'll buy you one.
You can buy them at Hi-Fi Records, I believe. They sell them there. I saw one when I was there on Friday.
That's where I got it.
Oh, really?
I'll pick you one up then.
Okay. Give me a large, not an extra large.
So my question to you is, what took you guys so long to, I mean, this is a pretty, Jim, your vocals are outstanding and very much kind of like in the style of Ronnie James Dio. And Vinny, you've been you're a member of Black Sabbath and also with Dio. So why did you guys take so long to come up with this great idea?
Well, you know what? It just fell into place at this particular time. And it seems like it's the right time to do something like this, being that Sabbath are kind of retired pretty much now. I mean, Ozzy's doing the thing here and there, but that's it, you know. And the music's still popular. It still lives on. And I have time to do it right now. And, I did this a while ago, probably about 4 or 5 years ago in Europe, and it went over so well. We did like two or three tours there in South America and some stuff in Ohio, and it went over well. So eventually I wanted to do it here in the States, and so I had to put a band together, and there's not many singers that could sing Dio and Ozzy. They could sing Ozzy, but they can't sing Dio. So fortunately, Jim could sing both, kick ass. So we started banging heads together and putting this together, and here we are. And we got a great band with Jim Caputo on bass and Artie Dillon on guitar. And it's the band we use for Drum Wars when it's a Drum Wars project, Carmine and I. Yeah. So we've played together, and it's really tight. And we played a bunch of these songs together as well. So we really kick ass together. So it's a really good feeling. It's a great band.
Yeah. Jim, I have a question for you. I mean, you're a very well-established vocalist and award-winning vocalist here in Western New York, but is it a bit intimidating to take on a project like this where everyone's going to be comparing you to Ronnie James Dio and Ozzy?
Well, I mean, listen, today's Ronnie's birthday, by the way, Vinny.
Happy birthday, Ronnie. Yes, so, we miss him so much. So,
to answer that question, Leslie just texted me, by the way, to give her a call. Tell her after this, I'll call her.
Okay.
So, to answer that question, I mean, listen, Ronnie James Dio was, in my opinion, the best singer ever made. I mean, just vocally, just the way he phrased the words, his lyrics were fantastic. Everything about Ronnie was special. One of a kind. So for me to go out and say, I'm going to try and, sound like Ronnie and do all the Ronnie tricks and look like him and act like him, that's not what I'm doing. I'm going out to tribute my hero, that type of thing. So I'm not. So yeah, everybody's going to speculate and go, okay, well, can he do it or can he do it? Or, in that. But that's not what this is about. This is about actually going out and just doing those songs justice and making those songs sound great. Would you agree, Vin?
Yeah. We're not doing it to compare. We're doing it for the music. We're doing it for the music. Jim's going to sing it the way he feels, which is in the style of Ronnie, of course. And I don't expect him to. We don't want to copy. We want to be real. So Jim will sing it from his heart and soul the way he sings it, and he's more than capable of singing Ronnie's stuff, and that's what makes it real. I mean, I'm going to play a couple songs that are Bill Ward's, but I'll play even when I joined Sabbath back in the day, I played Bill Ward's stuff, but I interpreted it my way as well, because we're two different players. So I don't want to copy everything. That doesn't sound as good. I want to add something to it. So that's the way we'll go about it.
Yeah. Have you guys come up with a set list yet?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
You got to get the set list done. This way you could look at it and get in the frame of mind, even though we're only going to rehearse one day before, but we're used to doing that. And but looking at the set list, you can get it in your mind how it's going to play out, and it's a good idea if you don't have a lot of rehearsal time to look at that set list and get, go through the motions. Okay, that song ended, we're going to end, and then the next song's coming up. Be prepared for the next song and stuff like that.
Yeah. Is there going to be like an equal amount of Black Sabbath and Dio songs in there, or is it going to be more heavy on the Black Sabbath side?
It's going to be heavy on the Black Sabbath side from the Mob Rules album, the Dehumanizer album, and then we're putting in a couple of Dio songs as well.
Heaven and Hell. We got some Heaven and Hell in there too.
Yeah. So it's going to be a mix of everything. But a lot of these songs people don't hear, like Sign of the Southern Cross. Everywhere I go, they go, man, you guys should, when I'm on tour with Last in Line, which is Vivian Campbell from Dio, and we're playing less and less Dio because we got 3 albums out, but we still do the classics. But a lot of people come up, hey, why don't you play, Sign of the Southern Cross and this one and that, Neon Nights. And so these are songs that everybody's going to get to hear, which are like deep cuts,
Yeah,
And,
that's what I was hoping to hear. I mean, even from Dehumanizer, there's a ton of great songs off Dehumanizer that you never hear. And also the Heaven and Hell record that you guys put out, which I think is kind of maybe overlooked a bit because it's not called Black Sabbath, but it really should be, you know?
Yeah, we're going to do like from Dehumanizer, so Killer.
Yeah, it's a
And
great
that was
song.
one of Ronnie's favorite songs. We used to do the gig, and then we go back on the bus and listen a little bit after smoking a couple of doobies, listen to the live stuff. And we always listen to and go, wow, that sounds killer, and come up with ideas. Maybe we could do this, maybe we could do that. And so we're going to do that song. And so they're more of the songs that you're not hearing all the time, which are still classics. So.
Jim, what do you think is one of the most challenging songs to sing from the set list that you're doing?
Well, I mean, like Vinny said,
All
we're
of
doing. They're all great, but we're doing like some B songs, some song. I hate to say B songs because they're not B songs; they're A songs. But we're doing a lot of great songs off the Mob Rules record and the Heaven and Hell album. And those are two
What's
of the
the
best
hardest one? What's the hardest one for you? You think?
I think Sign's going to be pretty challenging because there's a lot of dynamics to it. But I'm thinking Die Young.
Oh, you're gonna do that with Die Young?
Dude,
Oh, awesome.
Wait till you see this set list. I mean, it's you name it that you want to hear. I'm sure we're doing it. We're not just doing the ones that you expect. We're doing those, of course, because we have to, to tribute it the right way. But we are doing something like Die Young. Can you imagine?
Oh, that's one of my favorite songs.
How about Voodoo?
Oh, wow. How about Country Girl? Did you guys doing that one?
No, because I've played that before, and it live it doesn't. It's almost too nice,
Right.
And that's why we never played it live with Sabbath. Ronnie didn't want to do that song.
Yeah, because lyrically it was kind of different for Black Sabbath, and that's kind of why it makes it a little different and original, I think.
Yeah.
Caught in the middle, caught in the middle of the Dio song. We're doing that.
Wow.
Yeah, we did that too with Drum Wars, so we'll continue it. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of stuff. It's going to be a lot of songs, a lot of mix up, and it's going to be fun.
Yeah, Vinny, I've interviewed you a couple of times, and I kind of kind of regret never asking you this before, but I'm gonna ask you right now. What
Uh-oh.
record?
No, I don't have that $20.
Oh, damn.
I owe you.
Oh, we're gonna have to close shop then. No, I've always wondered what record do you prefer between the Mob Rules and the first Dio record, Holy Diver? What one do you kind of prefer if you had to pick one?
They're both really, I mean, in my opinion, great records and stuff, but Holy Diver was something that we started from scratch. So it's like your baby. So it's like my baby, me and Ronnie, we had a baby, we had a kid. And whereas Mob Rules was Black Sabbath, and we fit in together very well, made a really, really good album. So I would say Holy Diver, and we were just a band. We just got together. We actually, Vivian and Jimmy, I never played with them before. We had one jam in London, and then they came over and we started writing in the rehearsal room, but it gelled. So it was a real build from nothing to a really great band, and then into platinum records and arenas and stuff. So that was kind of special, special, really cool era for me,
I
So
definitely want to get back to that in a second, but I want to ask Jim what one he prefers over the other. If you had to pick one, Jim.
I mean, Mob Rules was such a great. I love the Sabbath, Ronnie, Vinny era of Sabbath. I never liked the Ozzy era, and I know it's terrible for me to say that, but I just never really got into Sabbath with Ozzy. I just didn't really care for his vocals at all. I just didn't like it. And then when and I knew of Ronnie when he was in Rainbow, so I was already digging Ronnie. And then when I found out he was in Black Sabbath, I was like, what? Because it's a total different type of music. And then, of course, Heaven and Hell just turned me on. So Mob Rules was a fantastic album, but Holy Diver was a game changer for me. I mean, that album it influenced me my whole life, really.
Yeah.
From the way, because I was already in bands. Well, I was already in bands and doing it my thing. But all of a sudden, this album comes on. I said, "Oh wait, now I want to take this serious and do this professionally forever." And here we are, doing this professionally forever with the real guy that was on that album. So
yeah, that's pretty amazing.
The difference between those records are for both me and Ronnie, and if he was here today, he would probably agree with this, that we were in Black Sabbath, so we had to work within the walls of Black Sabbath. I played a certain way in that band, not quite as busy, and I played more dark, and so Ronnie sang that way as well. So then when we started Holy Diver, there were no rules, and there wasn't even a previous Dio record where we had to watch out we don't repeat ourselves. This was brand new. It was fresh. Didn't have to play within the walls of Black Sabbath. I could play whatever I wanted, unless it got in the way or something. So that's why you listen to that record, and Ronnie's just, wailing on that record, and I'm going crazy playing, kicking the band in the ass, and there was just no rules to be broken. It was a whole different thing. Both were great, obviously.
And you had Vivian Campbell. Let's not forget that. Man, this kid
and then we had
comes out of nowhere.
Yeah, Vivian Campbell, that's on guitar, just blowing everybody's ears off, and it's funny, he's from Ireland, but yet, and Jimmy Bain on bass from Scotland, but yet I'm from Brooklyn, New York, and we all fit together and we had the same feel. It's really odd,
Yeah, there was definitely a chemistry there.
Yeah, it was same with Iommi too, I mean, I learned how to play a little more behind the beat, listening to Tony play and playing with Tony. And Geezer followed along with Tony. So it's that's a good point, because for guys in that situation getting into a band, you got to listen to who you're playing with. Got to try to learn from that. Got to listen is the most important thing. And I learned how to play behind the beat more with Tony and Geezer, but we still had the same feel, which is amazing too, because they were from England
Yeah.
and I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Brooklyn's
know
got some roots. Yeah.
for sure. Yes. I know that, you're friends with Geezer and Tony. You guys made up, down the road. But how gratifying was it for you to see the success of Dio kind of eclipse that of Black Sabbath? I mean, Black Sabbath really kind of fell apart after both you and Ronnie left, and Dio took off and started kind of almost replaced Black Sabbath as far as, playing arenas and that.
Yeah, it was interesting, because it was a decision Ronnie made. He's going to leave Black Sabbath, and he asked me if I wanted to come join him and start a new band. And I thought that was exciting. And luckily I did that. I love playing with Tony and Geezer as well, but this was easier. Ronnie's lived 5 miles from my house. Tony and Geezer were 5,000 miles from my house in England, and then we just went in. We didn't expect to be playing arenas or platinum records and stuff. We just went in having fun. We used to rehearse at Sound City, with Dave Grohl made the movie, and we were there all the time. It was like a hangout. We'd go hang out and we'd play and we'd write. Then when we had enough songs, we'd drag all the gear across this parking lot to the studio, record, bring everything back, and then write 4 or 5 more songs. And so we had no idea we were going to be making such a really great album. We just thought we'd do our best and never thought it would. How many 40 years later? Is it 40 years and it's still popular, still selling? It's unbelievable. We never thought that. We were just having fun. You could tell on the album we were having fun. That makes good music. When everybody's fighting, it doesn't make good music. There's some tension in it.
Yeah.
So no, so I don't want to say, it's a great feeling, It was just like, wow, this is amazing. We're doing great, and fantastic. And it wasn't meant to be anything on Sabbath or Tony or Geezer, They started it all. So
Right. But I mean, it had to be frustrating for them to Black Sabbath pretty much fell apart after you left. They did Born Again and then after that, Tony pretty much had a solo band that he called Black Sabbath that was out there playing in clubs. And Dio is getting all the headlines and, selling out arenas. So I'm just saying that, on their point, I'm sure they were kind of pissed off about it, even,
It could be. I just read Geezer's book and he mentioned all of the, at that point, different versions of Sabbath. And, it's interesting what he thought about it. But, you got, that's the whole thing with a band is it's the members that make the magic, and the original Sabbath was magic, and then 4 of us we were a great band, a great team. And we really worked well together. And then you get other people in the band, it's not quite the same,
Yeah.
So same like Zeppelin, they're smart not to carry on without Bonham. They did some with Jason, which was good, but Bonham was that one, 25% missing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. But they left millions and probably billions of dollars on the table by not taking, going for it, because that they would have made a much more.
Oh, yeah.
It would have been
But that was respectable. Yeah. You don't get into, now the Jimmy Page, Led Zeppelin, and nobody's in the band, some guys from Idaho or something,
Yeah. So you're playing I guess your first gig's going to be August 17th over here in Western New York, the back
Yes.
lot. So it must be pretty exciting to for Jim, it must be pretty exciting to kick off, in your hometown.
For sure. It's a great way to start the tour for sure.
Yeah.
Well, I always thought, like when we started these big tours, well, the first gig's in LA at the Forum. No, let's play a couple of warm-up shows.
Yeah.
So, but this is on a totally different scale. So we'll rehearse and then we'll pull it together on the night, and it'll be great. So
Yeah.
cool. But for Jim, this is special. This is his turf. We're on Jim's turf.
Yeah, definitely. I was talking to Jim before the interview, and I kind of mentioned the fact that, it'd be nice to see you guys like carry on and like actually record like a new song or a new record. Or any thoughts on that?
Well, we did actually do something, Jim and I, and Stefan Hound, who was a guitar player, writer, bass
Right.
player, everything from
Yeah.
France, and we did something called Scream Taker. Jim's got the shirt on, and we really loved that record. It came out great. It started off as just, hey, you want to play on a song? They sent me a song, and I loved the song. And then we started communicating and transferring ideas and stuff. And so we finished this record. There's about 9, 10 songs on it, and it's a really good, heavy record. It sounds like a cross between Sabbath and Dio. And I myself would like to do another one. I think we can get the right people behind it and do another record. It would be great. So
Yeah.
maybe this will turn into a couple more songs.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking, if you actually call the band Sabbath Nights and had that like Sabbath name in there, I think it might even get more exposure. I mean, it is great music. I mean, the record is amazing.
Yeah, the record's really good. That's why with this thing, it was like, what are we going to call this? I was doing this, and it was like an evening of Black Sabbath music, and then I thought Sabbath Nights. What the heck? It's better for promoting with the word Sabbath in it
Right.
than Vinny Boom Bots, live. Vinny Boom Bots and the Calzones. Yeah.
I would go see that still, but I don't know if I'd buy the t-shirt, but
I know we'd sell pizza there. Fuck the t-shirts.
all right. I'm in then. I'm not gonna
I
turn
agree
down
with
pizza.
Vinny. I agree with Vinny. I'd love to do another Scream Taker record. I get a lot of emails and messages. When are you going to put this out on vinyl? First of all, second of all, when's the follow up to this album? So
Yeah.
I think we touched on a nerve with this record. It's from the beginning track to the end track. And I don't say that a lot about my own music because I make records and, there's always a couple songs you go, I wish I would have did this or did that. On this album, I tried doing that. I said, I wish we would have did it. And there's nothing there I can do that with. I think it's a pretty solid album.
It
Yeah, we
is.
stayed in one style on that record. We stayed on one style because sometimes Jim has songs that are a little bit more, what do you say? Not lighter, but, a little more lovey kind of songs. But we didn't let him go that way.
Yeah, he's a hopeless romantic. That's why.
I tried.
Yeah, he is. He is. So we said, no,
I
no,
tried.
Jim, this is
I tried, but they were
dark.
like no ballads.
Yeah, this is dark and heavy. And each song got heavy and heavy and heavy, and the vocals, it lightens up here and there, but it was funny because it had a style. Eventually, it had a style. You put that record on, it's going to sound like the first song you hear. That's the style of the album. It's not going to be any different, textures and different songs. You're not going to hear 3 love ballads. I don't even play ballads. Luckily, knock on wood, in my career, I didn't have to play any fucking ballads. I used to have a website when the internet started. I did my own website. It said, Vinny Appice, the loudest drummer in rock. No love songs, no unplugged shit, no acapella, something like that. And no problem. And Carmine would say, my brother Carmine would go, yeah, no work. No love song, no love songs, no ballads, no unplugged stuff. No unplugged shit, actually. And no problem. That's what I wrote. And he said, yeah, no work.
Yeah, well, he was wrong about that. I mean, you
Yeah,
certainly have
yeah.
one
I
of the
left
hardest
him the
working.
love songs.
Yeah, you're
Yeah.
one of the hardest working musicians and rock still to this day with all your projects that you have.
Yeah, you can't stop. You got to keep going. I love playing. I love making music and writing and playing with these bands. This is a great band. Last in Line's a great band. We got, once you stop, that's when it's like you stop. Oh, I'm going to stop for a couple of years, especially drums. And then you go start up again and you're like, oh man, my hands are not used to this.
Yeah.
So
You did
Carmine
stop
and
for a
I
couple.
both never stopped.
I
Never
thought you
stopped.
did stop for a couple years. Didn't you stop for a couple years and like learn how to repair computers, or did you?
No, what I did was I went in, I got off the Sabbath tour and then it was like some downtime. There wasn't anything really happening. It was turning over to grunge.
Mhm.
So I really got into computers, and I started studying all the stuff on Microsoft courses and stuff. And I wound up doing that stuff, and I really loved it. And then, they kept offering me jobs. They go, man, you would be great at this job. All these people I met. And so I just did that for, I don't know how long, about a year. I still played. I still played. And then, but not quite as much, because at the time, the grunge was changing the music uh, industry. And so I got into I'm still into computers. I'm over here taking these things apart and rebuilding them. I built Carmine a studio computer. I have a studio computer, and I had a little company at one point, but now it's too busy for that stuff. But I love that. I love the way stuff works. I did the same
Wow.
thing with cars and the houses and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's impressive. Now, might you slip in a song from Scream Taker on this tour?
Not yet. We will, but
As a possibility.
yeah.
That's really cool.
Yeah, we could do that.
Can
Never know
you
what could happen.
right? Can you mention what the opening track's going to be for the first show?
Turn up the night,
I can't, but he can.
Oh, okay.
but
Wow.
it's going to come out of something else. There's going to be something in the intro. We got a special intro, and then it's going to go into something, and then go into Turn Up the Night. See, that's a song that you're not going to hear very much from a lot of bands, or a lot of, even we played it when the album came out, but we didn't do it a lot. So, and it's a great song.
Yeah. How many songs are we looking at? And as far as time wise go, you guys doing a full 90-minute set?
Jim?
Yeah, it's 90 minutes. And I believe
Awesome.
we have 15 songs, so it's a full
Wow.
night. It's
Actually,
a
I think
lot
it's
of
91 minutes, Jim.
Oh,
it is. And well, if your solo goes a little longer, it'll be
I'm
91.
not doing no solos. No
Um,
solos.
that's right. No
but yeah,
solos.
it's like 15 songs. So I mean, you're going to
Yeah.
hear all the ones you expect to hear, but there's a lot of good stuff in there that. And what Vinny did is, when he put the set list together, he put it in order for us, so we could just learn it in the order. It makes it a lot easier for us to go out and just execute the whole set. And I mean, when I was learning the set, I was like, oh, what's next? Oh, that's next. So I was excited every time I'd finish learning a song. That's how great the set list is. Every song is better than the next.
Yeah.
So
And I'm not doing the drum solos. So for all the girls out there that are going to come to the show, you're going to have to hold it in.
It's going to be a riot. I don't know how we're going to handle that. We're going to need extra security for that, probably. Vinny, would you consider maybe, if bringing out Sabbath Nights as an opening act for Last in Line? Do you think you could play
Nah,
two
nah,
sets?
nah, that
That's a
doesn't
horrible
work.
idea.
Yes.
yeah, I know.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah, because first of all, it blows the mystique of you come see Last in Line, you know who's in the band. Okay, I want to see Vinny play. Then I come out and open the show with this. So now I blew my, surprise appearance, and it's too much of the same. So
You want to keep the focus on the
want to keep it
headlining.
special. Yeah.
Yeah.
okay. And Vinny, have you ever considered writing a book like your brother did? I love your brother's book. It's one of the best rock books I think out there right now. I mean, he doesn't hold anything back in that book.
Yeah, I was surprised reading that book. I'm going, you dirty boy. Holy crap. It was all these women, and that book's more about sex and all that stuff, which is cool. But we wouldn't let my sister read it. My parents, they would pass. And my mother, if she was alive, would have probably killed them.
Yeah,
She
but
would
it
say,
was a
"You
very
son of a
entertaining.
bitch."
It was a very entertaining book, that's for sure.
Yeah, yeah. So I will do a book eventually, but mine will be more musical, and it will be like, I want to have some gravy stains on it from pasta, on a certain page, like I was eating, and then a blank page, like, well, I can't remember that. Okay, next page, make it something crazy different.
Yeah.
So Got to
I'm
remember all this stuff, all these stories, you know.
mm-hmm.
So
So yeah, so I just want to end the interview by talking about some an upcoming event you have the day before you have the show in Akron, New York. You're also doing something real special. Why don't you tell us about that for the Western New York area?
yeah, Jim.
Me and Vin are doing a CD signing, album, whatever you have. Signing at Hi-Fi Hits in Williamsville. You know, we have some Scream Taker stuff. We're gonna have some Last in Line stuff, some T-shirts, some Sabbath Nights T-shirts and stuff like that. You can get them before everybody else gets them on the first show. So we'll have all that, and from 5 to 7 at Hi-Fi Hits in Williamsville.
So that's going to be the day before the show on August 16th.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
we're
going to
doing
be
some press.
that's going to
We'll
be
have some-
awesome.
Yeah, got to get the Scream Taker stuff. Vin's gonna have some Last in Line stuff, and of course T-shirts. You know, Sabbath Night T-shirts, and probably some drum heads and stuff like that.
Yeah, we got a bunch of merch stuff we'll have there, so it'll be cool.
Will it be the special Vinny Appice slices of pizza available?
The recipe for
Wow.
lasagna.
Wow, that's quite the collector's item. All right.
Yes.
Well, guys, I want to thank you very much for your time. I'm really looking forward to this show, as probably many people are. Black Sabbath and Dio, are you fucking kidding me? I'm there. And I want to thank you both for your time and for putting this project together and keeping the music alive. And this is a legitimate Black Sabbath, Ronnie James Dio event, I believe. So it's going to be cool. Yeah,
It's gonna be fun. Thank you for your support, Thomas, and we'll see you down there, and everybody down there. Don't miss it. It's gonna be fun.
all right, guys. Thank you again. Take it easy,
Thanks,
and
Tom.
we'll see you
Okay.
August 16th and 17th.
Thanks,
Sounds
Tom.
good.
All right,
Bye.
bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye bye.